So you just beat the Colosseum, and you like the large and in charge woman, Amalia. So what can she do? What is this class all about? So this class has low initiative, but pretty high health, pretty high physical attack, and decent physical defense, as well as decent accuracy. I think I changed mine. I think I changed her growth type slightly. I might have changed her. I definitely hand mirrored her. She's slightly different, like palette wise. I made her like purple and like dark gray. But I have her on offensive all-rounder. I probably did change her growth types. The reason for that is I just want big damage for a specific purpose. Now, her low initiative can be a problem, but if you leverage her kit correctly, it really shouldn't be. So let's go over the details. So 80 move, so it will slow your team down to run her, just slightly if she's not the party leader. Infantry, 6 stamina, sword, great shield, infantry armor. So she does have armor weakness, so you have to be mindful of that. So if there's an enemy warrior, they can one-shot her in some cases. Her leader effect can break gates and barricades more easily. Now this can be nice to switch off of your horse party leader or whatever your party leader is to switch to her to break through a gate. Arguably, if you had a flyer in the squad, you'd be better off flying over the wall instead. But this can be decent if you have a bunch of groups that don't have flyers and your team doesn't run many flyers. So it just helps push through barricades and gates. For the skills, she joins with everything. She joins at level 40. And she has a few decent attacks. So let's go over them. So heavy slash, 150 potency, single target. Pretty good damage with her high physical attack. It typically hits really hard. She has penetrates, which is 100 potency, unguardable. Attacks a column of enemies with a piercing strike, inflicts defense minus 30%. So this is quite nice situationally. For my team, I have her on a specific thing, and you'll see in a second. But this is a good attack to use if you either initiative fix her or get her attacks off. Or maybe freeze or stun enemies so that she gets to get her attacks off, regardless of initiative. Omega Shatter. Hits twice, unguardable, 100 potency. Now these two attacks, you might be thinking, okay, so she hits hard, but how is that good? She has this Hawkeye ability, makes the user's next attack a true strike and guaranteed crit. Now we're cooking, right? Like as soon as she Hawkeye Omega Shatters, this will typically kill an enemy from full health. Or if she Hawkeye penetrates, this will also typically either kill or almost kill enemies, as well as just like put a debuff on them in a column, which is quite nice. But of course, if she Hawkeye heavy slashes, even this can typically one-shot. So she has a lot of like big hits. She has a column nuke, she has 2 single target big hits, and then one of them is cheap. She has heavy guard. Block an attack with heavy guard. Heavy guard is 75% damage reduction, so if she gets hit, she can super tank innately. She has wild kick, which is actually very nice. Activates after an enemy guards and allies attack. 50 potency, attack the enemy, inflicts stun and guard seal. So they can't block and then they become stunned, which is very nice. So even though she can't attack right away, she can still contribute right away through her kit. So that's pretty nice. Hawkeye, we already went over this. Your next attack is a true strike and a guaranteed crit. All right, now I have her on wide pursuit, which is a weapon skill, but let's go over vital blow. Attack an enemy unit, reduce their stamina. It does 150 potency, stamina reduction too. It doesn't steal stamina, so there's probably better things to use than this, especially if you have like some kind of AoE attack or something like Dragoon Dive or Wild Rush or even Berengaria's stamina steal ability. So this is going to be lower on priority, but it's something. This isn't really the reason you use her. All right, so for the particular build I'm running on her, I have her on Hunter's Claymore, follow-up attack, steal, plus 20 damage. Apparently this is a mistranslation. It's actually plus 20% more damage, or 20% more potency, rather. Someone was testing this in the comments. I haven't verified this, but it seems to be the case, I guess. We'll just take it on faith that they know what they're talking about. But it seems, either way, it increases your damage. So that's the important key thing here, is that it boosts your follow-up skill damage. Then I have her on Black Iron Great Shield for slight crit rate. You can have her on something more defensive. And then Outlaw's Bracelet for wide pursuits. Follow-up attack, a row of enemies, 75 potency. So if this just adds potency, it's 95 potency wide pursuit. And then she's on Sapphire Pendant so that she can wide pursuit twice. So this allows her, and then of course once everyone has acted, if the enemies are still alive and it's her turn to attack. She can heavy slash, she can omega shatter, she can penetrate, she can do either of these. Now, if I use wide pursuit once and then I want to go for like a column attack with penetrate, I could have her wide pursuit just as like just when her passive points are 3 or higher, or 4 or higher even, and then have her Hawkeye like a penetrates or an omega shatter or a heavy slash if that's what's needed to kill. So she still can get her attacks off, and you could of course change what she's doing, so you could replace this with like a plume, but keep note that even with a plume she's typically quite slow. Now there are ways to improve her initiative, right? So if you give her angel plume, she's at 28, and then if you have a start of battle trigger that boosts initiative by 20, now she's attacking as if she was fast. So it really isn't that difficult to get her to attack. So you can run her as this kind of like support wide sweep role, leveraging her high physical attack, or you can run her as just like a general nuker that crit boosts herself and does huge column damage. And also the fact that she can, where is it? Where's the guard seal? All right, this is the guard seal. The fact that she can guard seal off of wild kick is quite nice. So if there are things that are giving your team problems and she goes last, like in your attack order, she's going to keep stunning and guard sealing enemy tanks or enemy blockers, which does help the rest of your team get kills in. So it can be valuable just to have her spamming wild kick. And then of course Hunter's Claymore works off of that as well. So then wild kick would be 70 physical potency instead of 50. So she has some interesting things, and even though she does have low initiative, there are ways to fix that. She has insane damage. Like if she gets off an Omega Shatter with a Hawkeye, it's going to kill something. It typically does like 170 times 2 or like 200 times 2 to most things she hits. So pretty good unit, pretty fun. Do I recommend running her? I think so. I think she's one of the best units in the game. I think it's hard to deny how good she can be. She's also tanky, and for example, if I need to, I can rotate her to the front lines, and then if I need her to tank more, like the 4% crit honestly doesn't matter that much. You can put her on her default thing, which she joins, freeze and stun immunity. This can be good. She has access to all the shields, like the heavy shields, so whatever you need her on, she can run. So for example, if there's enemy calves, she could cav guard, stuff like this. But yeah, that's it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this or found this useful, and I'll see you next one. Peace.